Leon Bailey faces backlash from Reggae Boys fans. People, today we're going to break down this whole situation. As you know, this player should be returning to the Jamaican national team, but some fans are saying not so fast. So we will be right back with the details after the intro.
It's a beautiful first touch, and Rashford is in, and Rashford has scored. It's done really well. Havertz is running through, but Broggen's out of this goal. Two goals in 2 games for Marcus Rashford.
Pulls the trigger, he sticks it through. Jamaica silences the.
Leon Bailey faces criticism from Reggae Boys fans. So, people, I'm sure for all the Reggae Boys fans out there, if you don't know, Leon Bailey, I think the last time he played for Jamaica was in a doubleheader between Jamaica and Canada, and that game was the qualifiers. Basically, the winner of that game would have gotten an automatical spot in the Copa America. No, Jamaica lost the first leg in Kingston, Jamaica, and then went to Canada. Saw Shamar Nichols scoring 2 goals there and helped the Jamaican national team to reach the Copa America. No, Leon Bailey was a part of that squad. We also remember Leon Bailey had some huge misses in both games. Some people would say Leon Bailey missed about 5 goals in those 2 games. But that's not why we're here today. We're not here for Leon Bailey goal scoring prowesses. We're going to discuss some of the things that affected the player. So, Leon Bailey then got suspended by coach Jaime Hallgrimson. The coach, I think he talked about Leon Bailey not meeting his curfew requirements. And it was a bit confusing for a lot of people because that was the same head coach who said he basically give players the freedom to act like professionals and do what they need to do. However, Leon Bailey, Travante Stewart, those were 2 players who were then caught on the wrong side of the law when it came on to getting that suspension. No, Leon Bailey, during that suspension, he came out with an interview where he had a lot to say. And he had a lot to say about the Jamaica Football Federation and the program as to how they are handling players. And we also saw a player like Walter Boyd coming out this week in an interview speaking about some of these similar issues that he had with the Jamaican Football Federation. No, I think most Jamaican Reggae Boys fans would agree with Leon Bailey that there are certain changes that's supposed to be made. However, there are some things that was said in that interview by Leon Bailey where one of the particular statements he made that I think really turned the fans on their heads was when he said what Jamaica cannot do anything for him. Well, based on just hearing that, a lot of fans took that and ran with it and said, well, Leon Bailey, him narrate Jamaica, blah, 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 blah. That wasn't really the case. I think the player was trying to outline that he's already successful and he doesn't necessarily needs Jamaica to get a career or go to the national team. So he's basically playing for Jamaica out of the love for his country. But a lot of people interpreted that as Leon Bailey not loving his country. So it then had an opposite effect. Well, the player went away, went into preseason, started back there at Aston Villa. Aston Villa is now in Champions League. There was a lot of speculation that the player wanted to take time away from the national setup so he could be ready for Champions League. However, we're seeing something similar that happened to Leon Bailey. I think all the past 2 seasons where he has this nagging hamstring injury, and the hamstring injury is back again. The last 2 windows for Jamaica, right? Leon Bailey, quote unquote, accepted the call up for the Reggae Boys. However, we saw him going down in those games and he was then considered injured and he wasn't able to turn up for the national team. Some fans question whether or not Leon Bailey was really injured or he was waiting for a player like Mason Greenwood before he re-enters the fold. No, times time has passed. Those two windows has passed. Jamaica is now in the quarterfinals of the Nations League. What a coincidence. The quarterfinals, the same quarterfinals where Leon Bailey last played for Jamaica. Remember, Leon Bailey last played in the quarterfinals versus Canada. So Bailey would be reuniting with the team at almost the same juncture when he left the team last year. However, this year it's against a strong United States team with a new head coach. No, there was an article out today in the Observer, and I know this is why you guys are here. There was an article out today in the Observer about Leon Bailey's eagerness to rejoin the national setup. We also saw an interview from Leon Bailey where he spoke on Sky Sports about his relationship with coach Steve McLaren, though they haven't really met before. He's looking forward to playing for the Jamaica national team. No, after scanning social media and looking at other platforms on Twitter, on Instagram, 90% of the fans that commented on the post were asking for Leon Bailey not to return. There is a sentiment out there that when Leon Bailey comes back to the team, he tends to travel with a lot of baggage. As you know, his manager, Craig Butler, is a man who doesn't mince his words, and he has been going at it with the JFF for a number of years. So a lot of fans are saying that they can basically do without a Leon Bailey in this team. Let me know what you think in the comment section, that if Leon Bailey should be welcomed back in the team. I could read you a few of the comments. There was one comment that says from Le Beach, it says, "We good fam, focus on Aston Villa." Cap Brown says, "I prefer to lose without Leon Bailey than win with him. We good fam, focus on your club career. We can't afford your demands." Here goes another fan that's called Move Forward. "Just call him a sellout or a puppet. Just stay at Aston Villa, bossy," says DJ Mario Guns. So you see, there's a sentiment here that's building up. The only Bailey me rate is the rum cream. Leon can go itch up side of Butler and leave the Reggae Boys team alone. Another fan here, Bling 40, says, "I have mixed feelings about Leon Bailey returning to our team." No, Much Gracious says, "This is what happens when you think you're bigger than the team. No, all of a sudden you want to come back to the same system that you call corrupt. This has no private security for you. That's under your payroll because there is a new coach. What about your teammates or your pride for your country?" So some of the fans here are even saying that, for the most, I haven't found one comment today that showed excitement for Leon Bailey coming back in the team. No, let me just put this into perspective. I hear what the fans are saying and I hear the concerns of the fans. But let's be realistic. Leon Bailey will eventually have to come back into this Jamaica national team. It's just a matter of when. Leon Bailey is a really good player. He's one of the top wingers in the English Premier League. However, he's been plagued by that hamstring injury. Saw him come off the bench yesterday, and automatically a losing Aston Villa team looks better already. So we know what Leon Bailey brings to the fore. However, a lot of people are not really sure what Leon Bailey brings to the fore when it comes on to the national setup. Leon Bailey hasn't really put on that massive performance for Jamaica where fans can say, wow, Leon Bailey has arrived. And everybody knows how good the player is. No, does Leon Bailey apologize to the fans? I don't think there's anything there to apologize for. I would think more and less he apologize or have a talk with his teammates. And basically, because that's where the important discussion needs to be had, is making sure that when Leon Bailey returns to the team, it doesn't cause a divide. And people, let me know what you think in the comment section. Should Leon Bailey return to the national team? Should the fans just forgive, forget, and move on? Do you think the fans are overreacting? Do you think Leon Bailey should apologize? Should he apologize to his teammates? Or know that there's a new head coach? This should be a clean slate for Leon Bailey. Let me know what you think. I think Leon Bailey has something to offer. And my reason for this is I think this time around, Leon Bailey will be a different player for Jamaica. I don't think this time around, Leon Bailey just comes in and thinks the team is all about him. Because I think that's a mistake that Leon Bailey made previously. I think he put too much pressure on himself, basically trying to just produce for Jamaica. Well, while we all know that football is a team sport, Jaime Hallgrimson has created a nice, steady foundation, a core group of players that can kind of get us to another level, but we see where it's going to be needed for better players to come in and provide that impetus that Jamaica needs, that vigor, that energy to kick on. And who else is better than a Leon Bailey to bring back into the national team and have him strut his stuff? But the fans are not that excited. So, people, let's have the discussion in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Are the fans overreacting? And should the fans just let go and move on? People, I'm your host, JT Taylor. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.
It's a beautiful first touch, and Rashford is in, and Rashford has scored.
It's done really well. Havertz is running through, but Robin's out of this goal!